will not perish like the children of Egypt perish, because they forsake God and they forsake God's law. The law of God is not just given for the first time to the whole world. They have been given from the beginning. It's not a new law. The Passover law is given to them for the first time. And they must remember it. In fact, the Passover law is the children of Israel mostly that have to keep it. That is the reason why Jesus has to die for our sins, to be our Passover, the Lamb of God that carried away the death penalty from us. As the lamb that was killed by the children of Israel, that lamb that God said, go into your sheepfold, get a lamb of 1 year old, tie it down for 4 days. The 4th day, kill it and eat it according to how God told them. Make sure it has no blemish. That law was given to the children of Israel. That is why for you to eat from that Passover meat, for you to keep Passover with the children of Israel, you must become one of the children of Israel. Being born with them, or you circumcise yourself and join the, but you have to keep all the law of God, including that Passover. We are all to keep all the law of God. But the Passover meat we cannot eat. For the Passover meat, Jesus died for us on the cross. And this day, verse 14 again, and this day shall be unto you for a memorial, and ye shall keep it a feast of the Lord throughout your generations. Ye shall keep it a feast by an ordinance forever. So every year, when you hear the children of Israel keeping the Passover, this is what they are doing. In the Easter time, when all the people of the world are celebrating the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ, the children of Israel, that night, if we do it the right way, the night that we celebrate, the night that Jesus was crucified, the night, that Friday, the evening of that Friday is the evening that they are talking about here, that the Passover meat has to be eaten. These days I must let you know that those who are changing the law of God have taken the true crucifixion day and call it Easter, and they mingle it with the week of the Passover week, because they celebrate that Passover week for a whole 7 days. As verse 17, 15 says, 7 days shall ye eat unleavened bread. Even the first day ye shall put away leaven out of your houses. For whosoever eateth leavened bread from the first day until the 7th day, that soul shall be cut off from Israel. Because when they eat the Passover meat, they're supposed to eat it with unleavened bread. They cannot use anything that has yeast or baking powder, or they even talk about like oatmeal, because oatmeal will rise on its own if water touch it. The flour that will not rise when water touch it is what they have to use. And they have to prepare it quickly so that it will not rise with ordinary water. Unleavened bread. And they have to eat it for 7 days with bitter leaf, with the meat that they kill. So when you want to celebrate Easter, if Easter is what you want to call it, if you want to celebrate it and you want to say it is the Passover of God, and Jesus, whom God gave unto us for our own Passover lamb. Remember, he was killed on the Friday they call the Good Friday these days. And that Good Friday is for all of us people of the world, instead of the animal that the children of Israel will kill that evening for the Passover week. And we don't kill the Passover lamb because Jesus was crucified for us. That every other law that God gave unto us, to the children of Israel to give to us, the people of the world, we have to keep them. The Passover, God take it out from all the people of the world. He gave it to the children of Israel alone, because he has to do that. He has to destroy all the firstborn of the children of Egypt for the redemption of the children of Israel. Not in wickedness, but in judgment. For the idols that they are worshiping, and some of them will kill their children for the idols, and for the children of Israel that they kill in multitude on their land. And God wants the children of Israel to remember it. Verse 16. And in the first day there shall be an holy convocation. And in the seventh day there shall be an holy convocation to you. No manner of work shall be done in them, save that which every man must eat, that only may be done of you. So it's a 1 week celebration, 7 days celebration. And I bring it back to your memory again. Don't celebrate the crucifixion that they are celebrating in the middle of this week with the people who are celebrating Easter in the middle of this week. They will tell you is the crucifixion of Jesus Christ that they are celebrating, but it's not. It's idol that they are worshiping. They have been worshiping that idol from the olden days. It's one of those idols that they worship, and they are killing their children and killing animals for. It's one of those idols that they worship. Worshipping the sun and the moon and the solar system. Don't celebrate that Easter with them. That is is worshiping of idols. Remember the Passover week that Jesus celebrated on Thursday night before he was crucified on Friday, which come before this night, this Sabbath night, because Sabbath begin in the night. Every day begin in the evening of the tomorrow. We begin in today's evening. That is the way God set it. So Jesus was crucified. Jesus celebrated Passover on Thursday night because he knew that they're going to crucify him on Friday, that day of the Passover lamb that has to be eaten that night. Don't join the people who take that day and put it in the middle of the 7th day that God set up. And they said they are celebrating Easter. They are worshiping idols. Many churches are worshiping idols and you are joining them if you join them. Look at the day that the children of Israel are celebrating their Easter. Oh, excuse me. The day that the children of Israel are celebrating the Passover this week that God is talking about here. The day before that night that people call the Good Friday, that is the right day for you to celebrate the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. And you have nothing to do with the Easter that they are celebrating with egg and everything else that they are celebrating. If you don't want to be partaker of the execution of the judgment of God as God executed it in the land of Egypt, because they worship idols, he said. And I'm saying this over and over because I want you to understand what you are celebrating on earth. Verse 16 again. And in the first day there shall be an holy convocation. They have big celebration, worshiping God with joy and gladness. And in the 7th day, for that 1 week, they will do no work. It's a special celebration and a special Sabbath. Just as God said we should not work. We should not do any work on the Sabbath. That 1 week is a special Sabbath with celebration of the Passover. They don't do any work that week. If you are circumcised and you are in the land of Israel, you can celebrate this Passover with them. You can eat the Passover lamb with them. But if you are not circumcised, you cannot eat the Passover lamb with them, and you cannot celebrate that Passover week with them. And he said, no manner of work shall be done in them, save that which every man must eat, that only may be done of you. So, unlike weekly Sabbath that come every 7th day of the week, in the weekly Sabbath that come every 7th day of the week, you don't cook, you don't work, you just worship God and rest. You celebrate the Lord who created you. You worship him like the angels worship him with Adam, because Adam was created this 6th day. So Adam was there when the angels were worshiping God in the 7th day of creation. You celebrate that Sabbath God said he rested on the seventh day of creation. That is what we are celebrating when we rest on the Sabbath, the seventh day of the week. But on this special Sabbath of 7 days, you can cook food and eat. In the weekly seventh day Sabbath, you cannot cook food. You have to cook your food before the seventh day and eat it. You cannot do any work. In this Sabbath, you can cook food and eat, because they have to cook that lamb that they kill and eat. You remember, they have to roast it. They cannot add water to it. They cannot boil it. But they cannot do any kind of work. 17. And ye shall observe the feast of unleavened bread, for in this self-same day have I brought your armies out of the land of Egypt. Therefore shall ye observe this day in your generations by an ordinance forever. So God said, I set this as an ordinance for you, forever, from generation to generation, until the end of the earth. It's forever. And they have to eat it with unleavened bread. Throughout that 1 week, they cannot have anything that is living in their house or in their land. If you have things like yeast, oats, rice, all those things that when you put water into them, they will rise. You have to trash them, take them out of your house. You can give it to neighbors. You can sell them before that day begins. You can trash them. They actually have to search their whole house and make sure there is nothing that can be called living, that we make anything rise or that we rise on its own. They have to look under bed, under chair, under every corner of the house, shake it out, find them wherever children might put bread or some cracker or something like. They have to search it out and clean their house and burn those things out, burn it off. It's better to fear God than man. And it's better to fear God than to fear your appetite. I call that fearing your mouth and your stomach. Seven days they have to eat unleavened bread. Just put water in it, mix it quick, and put it in the oven before it rises. 18. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month at evening, ye shall eat unleavened bread until the 128th day of the month at evening. That is until the 7th day. From the 14th day to the 21st day. That is 7 days plus 14 days. You eat unleavened bread. With the meat of Passover. Verse 19. 7 days shall there be no living found in your houses. For whosoever eateth that which is living, even that soul shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel, whether he be a stranger or born in the land. You hear that? God is repeating himself to establish his words, so that you will not forget it, so that I will not forget it. Because he's telling you, who whosoever keep a living bread in their houses, he said he's going to kill that person. He's going to cut it off. Cut it off means kill, die. Those are one of those things that cause people to die, and we don't know why somebody died. We don't know where the sickness come from. We don't know why this person died young. Or suddenly something happened and we don't know what the disease is. And that person died for it. Verse 20. You shall eat nothing living. He said it again. In all your habitations shall ye eat unleavened bread. Verse 21. Then Moses called for all the elders of Israel and said unto them, draw out and take you one lamb according to your families, and keep the Passover. And ye shall take a bunch of hyssop. It's one of the plants that grow on your fields. Hyssop. You use it for cleaning. And ye shall take a bunch of hyssop and dip it in the blood that is in the basin. When they kill the animal, every house, they collect the water into a basin or a bowl and strike the intel and the two posts, to the two side posts, with the blood that is in the basin. And none of you shall go out at the door of his house until the morning. Once the blood is put there in the evening, once the blood is put in the post of the door in the evening, everybody have to stay inside the door. Don't go out. Nobody go out until morning. Verse 23, for the Lord will pass through to smite the Egyptians. And when he see the blood upon the lintel and on the two side posts, the Lord will pass over the door and will not suffer the destroyer to come in unto your houses to smite it. May the Lord keep the angel of destruction away from us all the days of our life. Verse 24, and ye shall observe this thing for an ordinance to thee and to thy sons forever. So Moses is instructing them exactly what God instructed Moses to tell them. And he's telling them it's an ordinance that you have to observe forever. Every year you have to observe it. From 14th day to the 21st day of their year. I think it's the month is called, I think it's the one called Abib in their year. I don't remember it exactly, but I think so. The beginning of their year, the first day of the year, started that night for the children of Israel. If we will all keep the law of God, we will all be on the same law, on the same months. But there are people that don't want to do the will of God, and they set themselves as the authority of this world, as the devil lead them. And they set months, the set year, they destroy the order of God, and they take their own Good Friday and set it in the middle of this special Sabbath to destroy and to distort what God set up. But they cannot distort God's work or God's order. They are just adding trouble to trouble for their own life. As they said, they're going to celebrate their idols in the middle of the week that God set up. They are just adding trouble to their own life. And God had promised that as he punished the children of Israel, as he destroyed Israel, all the plagues of Israel will come upon those who refuse him. So that is very important for you and me to know as we go through the journey of life. That is enough for us to say, what is it that God required of me that I may do it? And not what is it that man set up for me that I may follow them to destruction. I read from 14 again. And ye shall observe these things for an ordinance to thee and to thy sons forever. When he said to thy sons, it's for everybody. Sons and daughters, every man and woman. Verse 25. And it shall come to pass, when ye be come to the land, which the Lord will give you, according as he had promised, that ye shall keep this service. That is when they get to the promised land. As you see the people of Israel doing it these days, everywhere they are still keeping the Sabbath. Whether they are in the land of Israel or whether they are in foreign lands, they are still keeping the Passover. And it shall come to pass, verse 26, when your children shall say unto you, what mean ye by this service? That ye shall say, it is the sacrifice of the Lord's Passover. The sacrifice of the Lord's Passover. Who passed over the houses of the children of Israel in Egypt, when he smote the Egyptians and delivered our houses, and the people bow the head and worship. That is the elders. They bow their head and worship. That is how people do. I know the people of the world today, they say, if you bow for somebody, you are worshiping that person. That you are worshiping that person instead of God. That is how people respect elders. In my land, in Africa, and in the land of Israel, as you can see. When they say they bow and worship, they are talking of their bowing to Moses, who gave them the instruction that God gave unto them. When you worship the Horus forehead, those heads with gray hair, you are worshiping the Lord who brought them into this world before you. You are honoring the God who brought them to this world before you. It's an honor. Not worship as I am worshiping the Lord my God. There's a difference between that. There's a difference between the worshiping of God as Jesus worshiped God, as the elders of Israel worship God, and the worship that the people that worship Jesus worship him. The worship that the people that worship Jesus worship is like this worship that these elders bow their head and worship to Moses, who gave them instruction. The worship that the people worship Jesus in Jesus' days is like the worship that my people, Africa, will worship our father, our mother, our elders. We kneel down. If you're a girl or a woman and you want to greet elders, you kneel down. And the men will prostrate. It's all put together in English as worship. It's different. When I worship God, when you want to worship God, you kneel down and bow your head and bow your heart unto the Lord who created you. And set your heart on God and God alone. That is worship God. That is the one that Jesus did and the elders of Israel do. And Jesus is telling the elders of Israel that they are worshiping God with their mouths, but their heart is far away from God. I think Isaiah said it too. When you want to worship God, you worship God with your heart and your body together. Kneeling down, bowing your head onto the ground and your heart unto God, talking to God himself in your prayer, and singing to God and dancing for God. That is worship God himself. Honoring elders, like these elders who honor Moses, is different from worshiping God. So the elders, they bow and they worship before Moses. That is verse 27. And the children of Israel went away and did as the Lord had commanded Moses and Aaron, so did they. Verse 29. And it came to pass that at midnight the Lord smote all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sat on his throne unto the firstborn of the captive that was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of cattle. And Pharaoh rose up in the night, verse 30, he and all his servants and all the Egyptians, and there was a great cry in Egypt. Every firstborn in every house had died. So the whole city of Egypt was crying. Everybody is crying for their brother, for their father, for their slaves, for their everybody that is firstborn in that house. So the noise was so much in Egypt. The noise of crying for the firstborn that died, because God has sent his angels to walk through the land of Egypt. And God make it clear, in case somebody will not listen, he let them know that the land of Goshen is part of the land of Egypt. So the angel of God is going to walk through the whole land. But when he see every door that has the blood at the post of their door, the angel of God will pass through, will not branch there to kill their children. That is important to you to know. When God gives instruction, we must follow it. For there was not a house where there was not one dead. 31. And he called for Moses and Aaron by night and said, Rise up and get you forth from among my people, both ye and the children of Israel, and go, serve the Lord as ye have said. I think he said it with crying in his heart, with sobbing in his heart and mind and mouth, because he refused the order of God for this long that God had been talking to him, and he refused. He always said, entreated God for me, entreated God for me. Now he knows, after God gave him the sign of darkness, he knows. As he pronounced his judgment himself, he said, if he ever see the eyes of Moses and Aaron again, he said, he killed them. They will die. And Moses said, so be it. You will see my eyes again, and I won't see your eyes again. So when this happened, he realized the judgment has come, and there's no entreating God for me in this. And he knows also that God's word is the last word, not his word. When he is telling Moses, you can go without your children, you can go without your animal, you just keep some people, some elders, and go and worship God. Moses told him, I have to go with all my children and with all my animal. So the Lord asked me to go out of Egypt. All of us, the Hebrews, children of Jacob, children of Israel, we had to go, leaving nothing on this land. So here in verse 31, he said, go, serve the Lord as ye have said. And then he said on verse 32, also take your flocks and your herds as ye have said, and be gone, and bless me also. Every time I read that verse, it makes me laugh. And bless me also. Be gone. Take everything you have. Don't leave anything. Because now he sees everything that belongs to the children of Israel as a poison to his land. He said, be gone. And remember to bless me also when you go there and worship the Lord your God. Verse 33. And the Egyptians were urgent upon the people that they might send them out of the land in haste. For they said, we be all dead men. Yes. Get out, get out, get out. Take your load. Pack it, pack it, pack it. Don't leave anything. We don't want anything that belongs to you here anymore. Take it, go, 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 go. So they were urging the people, get out. Take everything that belongs to you. Get out of our land. We don't want to die. If they have listened to God from the beginning, nobody would have died in their land. If they have kept the commandments of God from the beginning, one sand will not have problem in their land. But they refuse God. They cling to their idols, their handwork that cannot save them. So you have to look at your life, and I have to look at my life and say, am I clinging to the idols of the world? Or am I clinging to God who created me? God gave them chance. He doesn't have any grudge against them other than that they should not worship idols. The law he has set from the beginning of life. He said, I am the Lord. Worship me and me only. When God started to destroy their idols one by one, if they have stand up and say, oh Pharaoh, we, the people of the land, want to worship God, the living God. And their Pharaoh has said, I surrender to the living God, and take all those idols and burn them away. Wherever they are, whatever they are, whether they are image on paper or image on the wall, or hidden in the wall, or hidden anywhere in the house. If they have packed them and put them in the fire and burn them off, and say, let us worship the living holy God. The one that can talk and can fulfill whatever he says. The one that can create human beings and create everything and put life in them. Let's worship the holy God, the living God. All the trouble will just end up right there. But God has to let the people of the world to know that when I say my word, I mean it. So he set that Pharaoh for them. That Pharaoh whose heart will be hardened. He is born for that purpose. God said for that purpose he raised him up. He was born for that purpose, to harden his heart and to lead the children of Israel into destruction. And the children of Israel were set up. God created them for that purpose. To set them as an example of what God wants. That the whole world may see the truth. This Egyptian that refused God and the Israelites that choose God. Darkness and light. God set them up. God called them his army, the children of Israel. Why did he call them his army? Because he's going to use them against the rest of the people of the world that refuse to keep the commandments of God, that continue in that idol worshiping. He gave all of them time and time, 400 years to repent. That 400 years is not an empty 400 years. It's a 400 years that God was sending them. Prophets, prophetess, one person here and one person there that we say, turn away from idol. Turn away from worshiping. I'm not going to participate in this idol worshiping. It's not only Abraham that was set up for them. They have churches. They have priests. They have preachers. They have some people that are trying to lead them. Melchizedek is a priest in their church. They have churches. They have people that are telling them, this is the will of God. This is the will of God. This is the will of God. And they must keep it. You say that Torah has not been written for them. The words of God have been written. God has said his words from the beginning of life. That is why I say, let us just read the Bible. We are not going to preach. We're just going to read one page at a time. Come together and we read one page at a time. So if you go to my website, the Bible is true yesterday, today, and forever. If you go to that website, you will see that I have started reading the Bible one page at a time with whosoever will. It might look like a repetition to you. Say, but he is reading this Genesis, from Genesis to Revelation, and she is in Exodus chapter 12 now. Why did she start reading from Genesis again? That doesn't make sense. It makes sense. There's a reading the Bible and started preaching it. That is giving example and illustration and everything so that we can bring it to our level. I call that one preaching. Reading the Bible one page at a time, one word at a time, and no preaching. In that particular way that I'm reading it, when I finish reading one chapter, I will point out the things that are important. Like this Passover is important in this chapter. I will make it clear for you so that you will remember it. But I'm not trying to explain or bringing it into, let's bring it to our level with examples and with all this that. No, I just read it and say, remember this verse that say this. Remember this verse that say this. And we move on to the next chapter. So I call all of you to come and read the Bible with me at my website. YouTube link is the quickest way I can say it. https:// that is right // I don't know how they say it, and then U2BE .com// at Morayo Luwoye is MORAYOLUWOYE. And the second one is https:// I think everybody know YouTube. .com /OLAO /at OLAY OLALUWOYE, Olaluwoye. The first one is at Morayo Luwoye. The second one is at Olaluwoye. If you can write YouTube link, https:// youtube.com/at WOYE. And the second one is at OLALUWOYE 5361. And you can read the Bible with me. We can enjoy. It's going to take a long time, but we can enjoy going through the Bible together. That is why I go through all those trouble telling you my website. I want you to read the Bible with me. Enjoy reading it one page at a time. And we have our little remember this and remember that, and we go to the next one. It's short. Let's continue. Pharaoh sent the children of Israel out of Egypt in a haste, because he's going to send them out in a haste. When all those firstborn die, is the reason why God said, eat your Passover meat in a haste. And, and the firstborn of Egypt that has to die, to bring forth that haste or hastiness, I take that as the bitterness of the bitter leaf that they have to eat in haste with it. And although I don't know the meaning of the bitterness of the bitter leaf and the unleavened bread, but knowing that when something rises, it's like pride. We can look at it that eating the unleavened bread is like, this is not your doing. Don't pride yourself over this. This is God's doing. It's God that is taking you out, taking all your multitude out of Egypt in one night, not you. That is my explanation of it. That is not in the Bible. That God asked them to eat it with bitter leaf and with unleavened bread. And they have to eat it in haste, because the children of Israel, when their children die, they're going to come and rush them out of the land in haste. And so they did, and said, if they don't, for they said, we be all dead men. (34) And the people took their dough before it was leavened, their kneading troughs being bound up in their clothes upon their shoulders. And the children of Israel did according to the word of Moses, and they borrowed of the Egyptians jewels of silver and jewels of gold and raiment. And the Lord gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they lent unto them such things as they required, and they spoiled the Egyptians. God had promised that from the beginning, because all of these things don't just happen. God told their forefather Abraham exactly what he's going to do and how he's going to do it, because Abraham decided to ask for sign. How do I know you're going to give me this child? Give me sign. And God said, I'll give you sign. Your children will go to the land that they know not their language. They don't speak the tongue. And they will enslave them. But I will take them out. They will be there for 400 years. And God said he will take them out. And when he will take them out, he said he will spoil them. He will judge the land, and he will take them out in multitude and spoil the land. He will make sure he get everything that those people need for them to go in their journey out of the land that refuse to turn to his order. The land that punish and enslave the children of Abraham. And so God did. So God's word, when God gives his word, it might be like he said he will destroy this land, and we have been there for 400 years, for 1,000 years. Jesus said he will come back, and for over 1 million years he hasn't come back. God said he will punish all this and punish all that in the book of Revelation, and he hasn't done it, so we don't think God is coming. And everybody put their explanation in the words of the Bible instead of just listening to what God said and do it. To fear God, to keep his commandments, to live by his words, and to fear his judgment, and carry out his charges. These are the words of God. And Jesus told us what God said is what we have to do. The commandments of God is what we have to keep. And he himself will come back for us and raise every dead up. And whosoever is not died before he come, he will change. And he will give all the righteous life. And many of us still don't understand what it means to keep God's commandments. And many of us are saying, nothing happened. And since nothing happened, that means the Bible is not something that they have to rely on. That is why Jesus put it and said, when he will come, it will be like a thief in the night. Everybody relaxed, nobody expected him to come. And suddenly, here come a big light on the sky. Angels singing, Jesus come in the glory of God. Don't wait until you see signs. Listen to the words of God. If it looks like idol, don't have anything to do with it. If you live in a house where they worship idol, take your journey that day. Travel to somewhere. Or you refuse them, as Abraham did. There is an honor you have to give to your father and to your mother to a point. When it comes to the point of honoring God, keeping God's commandments, do God's will, or do your father's will that is contrary to the will of God, you choose to do the will of God. With honor, with respect to your parents. Father, I love you so much. And you know I honor you with all my heart. But this is what God said. And God created us. Say it with love. Say it with respect. Read it to them. Let them know the will of God. And say, I want to worship God. I want to do the will of God. It may be to your father. It may be to your mother. It may be to your brothers and sisters that are older than you. Or maybe younger than you. It may be family celebration that is against the will of God, such as Christmas, that you know that they are worshiping idols indirectly, such as Easter, that you know they are worshiping idols indirectly because they are worshiping sun and moon and all the idols that they worship, the solar system, the gold and silver that they created to represent them, the trees and all the eggs that they carry. Always remember